Kevin, yeah, Martha's here. She wants to give you a kiss.
Shut up, Ma. I'm with my friends.
Hi, Mrs.
Hi,
Krapovitz.
Mrs. Krapovitz.
What are you doing down there that's so important?
Well, you see, to put it simply, Ma, it's time for Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. Oh my, indeed. You are listening to Talking Nerdy, that nerdy as heck talk show where I ask my lovely, lovely guests to talk nerdy to me. This here's Frost, and I am, of course, joined by Orange.
Yo.
And Scuddy.
Hello.
Scuddy's back from a vacation that she took last week while I was super duper duper sick and Orange was laughing at me, kind of.
Aw, sorry, I missed that.
It was a weird show.
It was weird because I was sick. As you can hear, I'm still a little bit recovery-y.
Oh, it's going around. You're going to get me sick, too.
Nah, I'm over it. I'm completely over it. It's just like the residual cough is just, it's persistent.
Yeah, you're still a carrier. That's what that is.
No, I've been hanging around him all week. He hasn't gotten it, so... Yeah, I mean...
Some people just have robust immune systems.
I'm one of them, believe it or not. It's just this is quite virile. But anyway, for those of you watching on YouTube, you will notice that this episode is called Cons, Pythons, and Pokemons. And if you bothered to read the description of the stream, you would know why. But if you didn't, that's fine, because we're going to talk about it anyway.
Yay.
We're going to talk about cons, or conventions.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about pythons, but not the snakes, but rather the Monty pythons.
Those are good, too.
They are very good. And we're also going to talk about Pokemons, because, oh my god, you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, this weekend? What, this weekend? This past weekend? On Sunday?
What did you do?
Well, let's see, on Sunday the 5th, I went out to the movie theater for the first time in ages, mind you.
Yeah?
I don't go to the movie theater, but this I went to. And you know why?
Why?
Pokemon I Choose You.
Oh, that did happen, didn't it?
It did, and it was phenomenal. Like, if there was a word bigger than phenomenal, I'd be saying it right now. Like, the movie was like, oh my god, unbelievably phenomenal. I think
there is a word.
What?
One dab, you're full-tastic?
Take it from Mary Poppins.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Yes.
I guess we could go that route.
Oh, great. Now the song is stuck in my head. Not a bad thing, but
You're welcome. Now you have that one stuck in your head, too.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Moana. You know, funny story about that song.
Yeah?
The Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote it when he found out that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was playing Maui.
Yeah, I
because
know.
nobody else could pull off such a narcissistic song while still maintaining the air of a good guy.
Yeah.
And that is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, yeah. If you've seen any clips or shows from when he was doing either his, it doesn't matter whether it was his heel or his face turns, they're both pretty great.
They are amazing.
You still love him even when he's being a jerk.
Yes, you do. And that's why he's phenomenal. But anyway, going back to the phenomenal movie that I was just like super excited about. First of all, when we first got there, like we went and I got my Pokemon card, which it came with a card and it's adorable.
Yeah.
It's Pikachu wearing Ash's hat from the film with the rainbow wing in the picture. And the card itself is really cool. I think it's got a move called I Choose You, which lets you search your deck for a Pokemon, I believe. I might actually look this up just to be sure, but then the second attack is just Thunderbolt, but you know, Thunderbolt, the only move that Pikachu has had for this entire time that he's been in the anime.
Consistently.
All 20 years of the anime, Pikachu has known Thunderbolt.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's forgotten anything.
Yeah. Not necessarily, but...
Because
a few things the guy...
No, he has. He has forgotten things. By the way, Ash's Pikachu is a he. Just for the record, he is a he. That has been established for a very long time, ever since the move Attract was out, actually.
Huh.
Yep. Because Pikachu got hit with... well, there's been many cases, but it's been stated... in the 4th generation in Sinnoh, he got hit by an Attract move by Chansey.
Yeah.
Chanseys can't be male.
It's physically impossible.
And Attract only affects...
the opposite gender.
Yes. But yeah, it's called... it is... yep. Yeah, no, it's what I said. The move I choose you for one colorless. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
All right.
But I mean, like, it's pretty good. It's a search move. I don't know. The card itself is more. It's got more collector value than it does like TCG value.
Yeah, I imagine. I don't think this is exactly something that's going to shake the meta.
No.
No.
It's going to shake the collectors, though. But anyway, I got one. My wife got one. She loved the movie. I love the movie. What's really cool about the movie is it starts the same almost as the first episode of Pokemon.
Okay.
It starts that way, and it's like, oh yeah, starts with the battle. I'm not going to go too far because obviously spoilers.
If you haven't seen the first few episodes of Pokemon that ever were.
Well, that's 20 years ago. That's not in spoiler range. Spoilers because the movie.
Okay.
Though the movie is not going to be able to be seen anymore except for 2 more days, the 11th and the 14th, I believe, because they added those showings because it sold out on the 5th and 6th. When it was like there was only supposed to be two showings. That's it.
Really?
Well, 2 showings across the country, like multiple theaters. There was a Sunday showing and a Monday showing.
Okay.
Yep. Sunday was a 12:55. Monday, I believe, was a 7 o'clock. And because those sold out, they added 2 more.
All right.
Yeah.
That seems more than fair.
The benefit to having pre-ordered the first one, though, is you got the card. And with the card, you also got a QR code, which unlocks an event in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, which are coming out in a week. Yep, a week from tomorrow.
All right.
So the 17th. And it also unlocks the Pikachu with the Ashes hat in the game. So
That's cool.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable as heck.
It's heckin' adorable.
It's heckin' adorable.
And the whole thing, with Ultra Sun, Ultra Sun and Moon coming out, it's like they keep releasing content for that game.
The trailers, I should say, are looking insane.
Yeah.
But anyway, the movie starts out basically the same as the first episode of Pokemon, so that'll give you an idea. But then when Ash sees... So this is like 10 minutes of the episode. It's not even like super spoiler because it's only 10 minutes in. Ash sees Ho-Oh, which he did in the first episode.
Yeah. Except Ho-Oh didn't really have a name at the time.
Ho-Oh wasn't even announced at the time. Ho-Oh just showed up.
It was just kind of like, oh, this is a thing. What is it?
What Pokemon is that? It's not in my Pokedex. It's not in my games. What is it?
Are you God?
Yeah.
No, that's Generation 4.
That's Arceus or Arceus. Technically, it's Arceus because of the Japanese, but that's another topic for another day or later today. I don't know. We might get to it.
We can debate over pronunciation all the time.
Well, in English, it's either Arceus or Arceus.
I always thought it was Arceus because deity, Deus.
I don't think they were actually thinking that far, to be perfectly honest, but that could be a reading of it. The reason I think it's Arceus, and what a friend pointed out to me, and Pokemon Sun and Moon and Orange, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
Silvally, the Pokemon that evolves from type Null,
Yeah.
was made using Arceus's DNA, or something from Arceus. Or meant to emulate his ability, which lets, when you take a plate, so are you familiar with the plates? They're items. When you take a plate and give it to Arceus, it turns into that type.
Yeah.
The RKS system, which is Silvally's ability, lets you take memory discs and give it to Silvally, and he gains the type from the memory disc. So the RKS system comes from Arceus. And that's why a friend pointed it out to me.
Okay.
And I think in Japanese, I'm going to look this up really quickly just to get the right pronunciation.
Yeah, it says something
I think it might be it's Arceus. So, but more like a key Arceus, but you get the idea. But in English, Arceus or Arceus, totally fine.
Yeah.
There's no official pronunciation guide, mind you. It's just what's closest to what they probably intended.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the movie. Because, that's what I was talking about, right?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Ash and Pikachu COO. By the way, Spearow and I Choose You, such bigger jerks.
I mean, in the original episode, Ash started it by throwing rocks at people.
It was an accident the first time, and it's still an accident. But
Spiro,
the
you don't
the
mess
Spiro
around with them.
increased 20-fold from what it was, and
Oh, jeez.
they really messed things up.
Jeez.
Like Pikachu literally absorbs the thunder from the rainstorm to shock them all. That's how. But anyway, they see Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh drops the rainbow wing, and there starts the movie. The new events of the movie, basically.
Nice.
Oh my God, yes. And the feels are there, the comedy is there. It's just a perfect mix. It's like what you would expect from a Pokemon season in a movie. And this movie was just, oh man,
He's gushing.
I'm gushing.
What's the word you would use for this?
Phenomenal, obviously.
Are you sure that's the right one?
Well, we could go supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but I think phenomenal's more my style.
It is that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot the word again.
Oh, phenomenal.
Okay.
You're pumping up the phenomenal counter, aren't you?
One more time?
Phenomenal?
Okay.
Should I spell it for you?
Maybe.
Phenomenal. I think I spelled that right. I spell too fast sometimes and then my brain doesn't catch up. You know.
Nah.
Phenomenal. Can you use it in a sentence? Yes. Pokemon I Choose You was phenomenal.
There we go.
It really was. If any of you out there listening saw it as well, shoot me a tweet at DJFrostWLMC. Like me on Facebook at DJFrostWLMC and send me a message on the Facebook page or comment in the YouTube stream and, tell me what you thought of it because I thought it was phenomenal. You know what actually one of the better things about it wasn't so much like the movie. As I said, there wasn't anything about the movie I didn't like. When I got to the theater, my wife and I sat down and somebody turned around and was like, "Oh, hello." And like, "Hey, how's it going?" "Oh my God, yeah." Con friends, like people who you see at I saw at the local con, like I haven't seen you in a while. Like the same goes for you, not since the con. Like and we're just chatting away, and people behind us, I'm recognizing people as they're coming in. Like the amount of children in this theater was a small minority compared to the amount of adults.
That's just kind of how it works nowadays with some merchandise.
Well, I mean,
movies.
The people who got the tickets first were clearly the people who have loved Pokemon since their childhood.
Yeah.
Like, I jumped on that. When I found out there was one within driving distance of my house, I jumped on that. Because, I wanted to see it. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any close to the studio, right? But back where I lived, there was some. So I'd made a trip of it, went home, spent time with my wife, and went and saw an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And then went to Pathfinder later.
It's always a good day.
It was a very good nerdy day. There's nothing to complain about there.
Yep.
Nothing at all. You might even say it was phenomenal. You know what I should really do? I should just get a t-shirt with phenomenal on it.
Probably.
Like that way I could just be like
DJ
phenomenal.
Frost.
Frost says phenomenal.
All you have to do is point at your chest and...
Except they can't see radio.
Well, yeah.
Internet streaming.
But
type.
so then thump your chest. Eventually it'll become the shorthand.
Yeah. But I think I'm not really all that muscular, so
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
It would hurt. It'll like there'll permanently just be handprints on my chest.
Yeah, no.
What's all that about?
That's how the calluses develop, and then from there you can do it with no pain. And if somebody tries to punch you in the solar plexus, it won't work.
Too bad I have the word phenomenal on my chest. Too bad you can't punch through my calluses. Yes.
Can you even get calluses on your chest?
I don't think so.
No.
But I think you can get like really tough skin. A similar effect, I'm sure.
Essentially the same thing.
Pretty much.
With enough training.
The other thing I did this weekend, which goes to the second thing, we're kind of going backwards. Cons,
whatever.
Pythons, Pokemons. We're going Pokemons, Pythons, Cons. But it sounds better when I do it the other way.
Whatevers.
Pythons, Monty Python. My wife had never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Bearman hasn't either.
What?
You know that, right?
No, and now I know what I have to do this weekend.
I've been trying, okay?
You get the duct tape, I'll get the film.
The best I was able to do was, at one point, we were able to see The Life of Brian.
The Life of Brian is also really, really phenomenal.
It is.
But
it is.
The Holy Grail...
it's a cornerstone of nerd culture.
It is, and it's a cornerstone of a lot of different things. Comedy, it's one of the pillars of comedy at this point.
Pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, like the existence of Monty Python in general is a pillar.
Bearman just sent me the hashtag never gonna watch it. Well, you know what? You know what?
Don't say that. They might do the old anime. You
know what, Bearman?
Ways of tactics.
Never gonna give you up. Hashtag. Sorry, that should be never going to give up. Hashtag.
Well, you're not going to give him up either.
No, that's true.
Great.
But yeah.
Orange actually told me that it's the 10th anniversary of that meme becoming a thing.
Well, it was on Tuesday.
That's a wonderful anniversary to celebrate.
Yeah, and
Memes
actually,
are another core.
It's also
it's also the 20th anniversary of the song. No, 30th. Sorry, it's the 30th anniversary of the song as well.
That's actually super amazing. Okay, but like I understand why somebody wouldn't want to watch it because
Bearman says it's out of spite.
yeah, that out of spite for you or for me.
I don't know, but probably both of us at this point.
No, I think or like if I know him at all, it's out of spite for the numerous people who quoted it endlessly and just wouldn't shut up.
But it's a quotable movie.
It is the one-liner capital of the world. Like, even if you've never seen the movie, you've heard the lines.
references.
Oh yeah. I heard the lines long before I actually saw the movie.
So, by the way, Monty Python and the Holy Grail isn't under spoiler wall because, 60s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, actually, it might even be 70s.
Around that time.
it definitely wins the award.
The date is... What's your guess?
Is 68.
71.
75, actually. It's a lot younger than I thought it was.
All right.
But Monty Python's been around for ages. Anyway,
But yeah.
still, it is way past the 5-year spoiler wall that we set for movies. So, spoil away. My wife's favorite part, by the way, is the knights who say, "Nee,
Oh yeah, those are pretty great.
Yeah, the Knights of Sydney. Do you have the shrubbery?
a shrubbery."
But I think this movie, it definitely wins the award for most anticlimactic ending ever.
My God. So, we watched the film, and then it cut to black, and my wife was staring at me, and I'm just staring at the screen. I was being a little trolly. I apologize. But I was being a little trolly. I was just watching it. And then da la da la da la da 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 la da. That starts playing. And she's like, "Where's the end?" I'm like, "That is the end." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yep." And then she made all kinds of incomprehensible noises, but that's normal.
Well, yeah, that's par for the course when stuff like that happens.
And I'm just like, yes, that was the ending. And that's the entire mother friggin' jokes of the entire film was that's it. It's over. It's over.
It just ends. It just ends in the stupidest way.
Yeah.
With King Arthur and
they're all getting arrested.
Yeah,
for a crime.
No, not all of them. It's just King Arthur and the one guy that are left.
Then the
Everyone
remaining
else.
knights.
Yeah, everyone else
Get
died.
on, get out. Come on, clear out.
Yeah, they got arrested for murdering a guy
Which
earlier.
they didn't actually do.
No,
if you look closely, it was just some random knight passing by.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of them. But yet,
but he was one of King Arthur's knights.
Maybe.
So
Well, here's the thing.
So he's guilty by association or something?
The whole film was poking fun at Christianity as well as British politics.
Yeah.
So it was. I'm guessing they're poking fun at. He did it. Therefore, the witness thing, where witnesses, I hate to break it to you, are oftentimes very wrong.
Yeah.
Very, very wrong. But at the same time, you kind of have to go off what the witness says and at least take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it was them. They're in armor and they have swords. Clearly, it must be them.
Yeah.
Never mind that they're in a medieval area, but then police. Hilarious.
That's what we call absurdist humor right there.
Monty Python invented
absurdity.
Well, they didn't invent it, but they crafted it into a fine comedic outlet.
They
the
developed
Ministry
it
of Silly Walks.
They developed it into
that's the flying circus. Yeah.
They developed it into the form that is most commonly understood today.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of modern comedy is based on Python.
And Pythons themselves that's what they call the people who are involved in the projects. They call them Pythons.
Yes. Monty Python were the 6 of them.
Yeah. But then anybody who was associated with bigger skits and stuff became known as a Python.
Yes.
So, and Pythons have been pretty widespread ever since the show's end. They've inserted themselves in many other things and
they have,
further propagating.
But they're
especially
really
John
old. They're getting really old now, though.
Well, yeah, but it's not like they don't still do it.
Yeah, the only one who's not alive is actually Graham Chapman. He unfortunately passed away short of their 30th anniversary, I believe.
But
believe
everybody else is pretty much still alive.
Yeah, no, they're all still alive.
And they are all national treasures.
Pretty much.
My favorite person would be John Cleese.
John Cleese is there. So first of all, they're all extremely well educated. They all came out of Cambridge, I believe.
Yeah, Cambridge.
So
Yeah, my dad always said it's all, like this was his argument for why people should stay in school. The more stuff you know, the more jokes you get.
yeah, like a lot of Monty Python and the Flying Circus, their TV show.
Yeah.
You don't get unless you were in England in the 60s, 70s, you know, that era.
Unless you have the box set.
No, I have the box set. It's the content itself is lost on an American audience who wasn't there because it was a lot of poking at British politics and current events of England.
A lot of
British humor.
Well, yeah, a lot, but
It's nothing about the British humor. It's about the context.
no, yeah, and since we're Americans who did not live in that time, a lot of the context is lost to us.
Yeah, and a lot of it was just silly, stupid things that like lasted a year, if that.
Yeah, so like when they name drop some random member of parliament and everybody else goes ah ha 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 ha.
That's hilarious.
As an American, we're just like,
Okay.
we don't even know the names of our own congressmen. How are we expected to know members of a foreign parliament?
Yeah, see, my uncle knows all this stuff. He's like a foreign relations like major, like he's got his graduate degree in it.
Yeah.
So he's like, he knows all these things, and he's like, that's hilarious. And he gets the most pleasure out of watching the entire box set because he understands it all. Because he not only lived there during the time a little bit, he also studied it, and so he can go and say that's friggin' funny.
But yeah, it also is part of the thing is ties into education is that it takes really intelligent people to make really stupid humor.
Oh my God. Like to have humor understood by everybody, but still be smart.
That takes an awful lot of intelligence.
It takes an art that is slowly dying.
I wouldn't say it's dying at all. I'd say that it depends on who you are. Sketch comedy itself is kind of forewent the way of popular viewing, and stand-up has taken the stage. So, well, pun intended. Yeah. But stand-up is still brilliant.
Oh, yes.
If done by the right person. But, like, sketch comedy is, unfortunately, not as prevalent as it used to be. It may make a resurgence, but, you know, it's been a while. Like, The Kids in the Hall, there was The Whitest Kids You Know. Those kinds of groups of sketch comedy is not as popular and prevalent anymore.
No.
Which is funny because on YouTube...
Saturday Night
On YouTube,
Live.
they're everywhere.
Oh, on YouTube, they're everywhere.
My absolute favorite group to go to for a sketch comedy for like the last several years has been a group called Loading Ready Run. I've shown them to you.
Yes,
I
you
know I
have.
have. They do that news thing, Checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious, but totally not appropriate for this show.
Well, yeah, but they do an awful lot of other stuff. They branch out. They do a yearly thing called Desert Bus, where they play the world's most boring video game for 9 hours for charity.
Mean bus? Yeah, that is just
Yeah, no,
Really?
it's
a bus simulator.
It's literally like 3 hours of driving a bus back and forth through the Nevada desert. It's a straight shot, except like the bus has something wrong with one of its axles or something. So you can't be completely mindless. You do have to because if you
That's awful.
if you completely zone out,
You
then-
crash.
Yeah. So you have to
and then start over again.
Keep turning the bus a little bit to the left every time.
So it's got an alignment issue, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's got
That's so stupid.
just enough to force you to keep paying attention for the 3 hours you have to drive this bus.
Fairman says if you go off the road, you have to start over too.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
So, like, even if you leave the road a little bit, you got to start over.
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're like a
It's the
greyhound.
most difficult game ever.
No, I think there's more difficult games. It's just the sheer patience it requires to beat it is probably beyond.
Yeah, and these guys they play that game every year on a live stream for charity. They're
mean,
going to be
that's-
doing it. I think they're going to be doing that soon. Actually,
That's got to be one of the most boring things
think they
to
already
watch
did it.
/ play.
well, yeah, they do it in shifts.
Yeah.
Obviously, because there's no way anybody could just actually sit there for 3 hours doing practically nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I say that as somebody who regularly sits around for 3 hours doing practically nothing.
Well, I do too, but it's called like
Yeah, but
TV watching.
yeah, there's like your mind is still like somewhat active and there's some kind of stimulus coming in that's not just sand and a blue sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all you see in that game is just that horizon line between the sand and the blue sky, and you just head towards it endlessly. And you're not allowed to change direction. There's literally nothing else interesting to look at except maybe a single bug splatter on the window.
Oh.
But like that's just it. It's the most boring thing ever.
Do you even pass any cars or?
No, literally nothing happens. You just drive straight line. And people go crazy.
Yep. Yep.
I remember one year.
And if I remember right, it's 3 actual hours.
Yeah, like
Apparently the whole game takes 9 hours to complete.
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
That's what Bearman says. But oh my god, really?
Yeah, somebody made this game. Somebody made this. Somebody thought it would be a good idea to produce this and publish it as a thing for people to buy.
Wow.
Like, there are very few products I can really sincerely say that about, especially in terms of video games.
But wow.
Yeah. Just
Just no.
no.
Just stop that. No.
You can't do that.
Well.
They also have a D&D stream sort of thing that
That's
they do
good, too.
sometimes.
That's really, really cool.
I believe the only one that I ever really regularly looked into was called Temple of the Lava Bears.
Well, you know what? That sounds pretty awesome.
Ugh.
So, I don't have any experience with lava bears,
Yeah.
but apparently when I was away 2 weeks ago from my Pathfinder group, because I play every other weekend with them, because like that's when I'm home,
Yeah.
they apparently had an awesome Halloween special.
Oh.
Where the GM, well, he does it every year. It's great. But apparently there was laser bears that shoot lasers out their eyes and their bums. And they are actually aliens from another planet, and their urine smells like lavender, and it's got antibiotic properties. And
What?
it's like, just no. And they're both good and evil. They just do what they want. And my party members had to play blackjack with them, but it wasn't normal blackjack. It was strip blackjack.
What did the bears strip of?
You know what? They just magically. They didn't ask. They didn't ask.
They didn't ask what the bears strip out of. Do the bears wear clothes, or are they just bears that have like a headset?
No. They are just bears. They look like bears, but they're laser bears.
They look like completely ordinary bears that just happen to have lasers out of their eyes and butts.
And you know what the loot for this thing was?
What?
Well, one of my friends decided to go jump in the giant pool of laser bear pee because, of course, they have a pool of laser bear pee.
Why would you just keep that in a pool?
Because that's
why
where,
wouldn't
well,
you
that's
keep
where,
it in a pool?
Well, that's where the laser bears go pee. Clearly. And he went and swim around in there because he's got like water breathing armor. So he just does what he wants. And on the bottom, he found a slime salamander, which he just said, hey, and it said, hey. And he also found a sword. It was a magical sword, but it was the sword of sorting.
What? The sword of sorting.
It is a non-magical, non-masterwork sword that was enchanted to be a masterwork sword, basically. It was a magic sword that counts as magic, but doesn't have any bonus to damage, just bonus to hit. It is as if it is a masterwork weapon. It is useless, and that is the entire joke.
That's pretty great, actually. One of these.
So yes, your reward for diving in a lavender-smelling pool of slime consistency pee is the sword of sorting.
The sword of sorting.
The sword of sorting.
That
is its actual name.
I believe you. I believe you. That's just absolutely nuts.
I know.
It's nuts and it's great. One of these days, like, if I ever start getting into DMing, I want to make a campaign along the lines of kind of like what you're doing. The campaign is based on the stories as told by a band.
Yep.
But the band I would want to use is NSP.
Oh my God, Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah. It would be the most insane and awesome story ever.
I don't even know if it'd be possible.
Oh, there's a way. There's always a way.
You're probably right.
There's always a way.
But still, oh my God. But yeah, no, that campaign resumes tomorrow, and you guys are in for it.
Ooh, we didn't exactly leave off in the best place.
Nope. Although, I mean,
We're being chased by somebody, right?
No, you're not being chased. Although you did make a new frenemy.
Yeah,
Not
that
really
did
frenemy,
happen.
more like nemesis.
Yeah, that did
Bearman's
happen.
super excited about it, though.
Yeah, and someone has to be.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's going to happen. I've come up with all kinds of stuff.
Yay.
Just you wait. But anyway, let's see. What else are we going to touch on? Because we talked about the comedy and the Pathfinder and the Pokemons. And, well, I do want to talk about the cons that you just came back from.
Yes.
But do we wait for the second hour, or do we just go now and see where it takes us?
It'll take a good while for me to explain
second hour.
number of things, but
Let's do it now. Let's see where it takes us.
all right.
So, Scotty, you were at a con, which we mentioned last week because you weren't here, and I was sick and weird and fuzzy-brained anyway, so it was fine, really.
and
You
I'm
were
sorry.
asleep for 4 days.
I was asleep for 4 days, that's true.
Jesus.
Well, I wasn't sleeping the whole time.
Okay, good.
I got better.
Nice.
You don't want what he had.
That's a
Unfortunately,
callback.
it got better.
But
She
yes,
turned you into a newt.
a newt.
I got better. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It's a beautiful
It's
thing.
such a beautiful thing.
I've seen people cosplay that at cons.
So this summer, actually, somebody cosplayed the Black Knight
Yeah.
with removable arms and legs.
Oh, that's great.
Like he would say, "Oh, how's it going?" Like you'd go to shake his hand, and then it'd fall off, and you're like, "Oh no!"
Yes.
And he's like, "It's great. This was fantastic to put together, but oh my God, it's a pain in the butt to put my arms back on."
I believe that.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah, no, it was so great.
All right. Okay.
Anyway, you went to a con.
Yes, this was a steampunk convention.
Okay.
Which is its own subculture of nerdiness that contains its own.
It's a pretty big subculture.
Yeah, it's pretty big, and a lot. I don't know.
What was the con called?
It's called TeslaCon.
Oh, and where is it?
It takes place in Madison, Wisconsin.
That's a ways from here.
Yeah.
That's up north.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't even know north, but just west.
It's west
It's
and north.
west and north
Yes.
ish.
Ish. It's hard to tell, really.
And what are you gonna do? But it's a really wonderful place. This was their 8th year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the guy who runs the place, whose character name is Lord Bobbins.
Huh. Lord Bobbins?
Yes.
Like sewing bobbin.
I guess? I don't know.
So Lord Bobbins is like the host?
Yeah, he's the host, master of ceremonies, prime minister of England, blah, blah, blah.
Sure. Don't tell the actual PM.
It's an alternate universe. What are you gonna?
It's
an
19th century alternate universe.
yeah.
Sure.
So
It works.
You can do whatever you want.
I want to be a laser bear.
You want to be a laser bear? I'm sure somebody can fit that. I'm sure that can fit in somewhere.
Yep. Good.
As long as you don't mind having your brain in a jar.
As long as that bear has a healthy respect for Tesla and despises Edison.
You know, laser bears more care about the lasers anyway, so
Hey, Tesla was good.
electricity is cool, but we're way past that.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we have an understanding because there are a few running jokes at most steampunk conventions. Is one of which is Tesla is the Lord and Savior and Edison is the devil.
I don't blame you.
Really? I mean,
Essentially, that's what it is.
Edison did some pretty shady stuff.
Like murder an elephant.
Yeah, that happened. But we wouldn't have a lot of things without him. So he did a lot of good science.
Yes, he did. But he also
He stole a few things.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that we take issue with there.
He did do that, but
He stole lots of things from Tesla.
frankly, everybody did back then.
Yeah.
It was, oh, that's a cool idea. Well, good thing I patented your idea. And that's how it worked back then. There
Yeah.
wasn't really so much of a court of appeals and stuff like that. So it was,
That's all true enough, but that's
no, it's a fair hatred.
yeah, and also it's also the running joke.
Yes, which is also a fair joke.
And the other running joke is that pretty much everyone there is functioning alcoholic.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can be an alcoholic laser bear.
Because if there are like only 2 drinks you're allowed to consume, and they are tea in all of its varieties,
because it's England.
and any variety of alcoholic beverage you can think of.
Oh, so a lot of gin.
See, this water is actually clear tea, very rare, very exquisite for the palate. So it's a good thing to have on hand.
I see. Okay. Well, you use your water to power your technology because it's all powered by steam.
And coal. A lot of coal.
Well, yes, but
Lots of, like, more coal than actually exists on our planet.
oh yeah,
But anyway.
that's what the fantasy is for, you see. And if you run out
unlimited
of
coal supplies, of course.
and if you run out of coal, then you turn to aether and
Aether.
and magic thingies that may or may not exist for realsies.
So here's the concept for you. Magical reality.
Yeah, that's essentially what a lot of steampunk is.
We've been actually talking about that, Orange and I, in one of our classes. Completely unrelated to nerd topics, but magical reality comes up a lot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, magical realism.
That too.
So like the thing that's really unique about this particular convention, TeslaCon, is that it has a plot.
Oh, so it's an RP con as well.
Pretty much, yeah. And the story began with the first TeslaCon, and
So back 8 years ago or whatever.
yeah, 8 years ago in, I believe, 1860 something.
Oh, so we're really, really back.
Yeah, that's the year that
So
Victorian
it's
era.
like 1870 something now?
It's
in con years?
in con time. It's about 1870 something.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that's Victorian era still.
I think, yeah. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure you're correct.
The story is starting to come to a close now because
And you're going to start a new one, I assume.
well, yeah, so the con has gotten this particular con has gotten so
Big.
successful and big that they've decided to expand.
To multiple cons?
There is more than one con now, and they're bringing it to I believe to Portland, Oregon.
Hipster Town,
Or
USA.
it was either Portland or Seattle.
Seattle, Washington, also Hipster Town, USA. Both of them would work just fine for what you do.
But yeah, so that one is going to be called TeslaCon West.
And this one's TeslaCon Central, I imagine, because they can't call it East. There's no way.
No, this is just
TeslaCon.
TeslaCon original flavor.
Sure.
TeslaCon Classic. So while the story is coming to an end at TeslaCon Classic, at TeslaCon West, they're going to start it all over again.
I see. Well, then what's going to happen at TeslaCon Classic?
I'm not sure. I don't really know if they know for sure either. They didn't expect it to last as long as it has.
Right.
So
Well, they've got to start some sort of story because, like, that takes away a good portion of what the con's about, no?
So what you're saying is West is going to be an alternate reality.
Somewhat. Except
Sure.
it's this, like,
Oh boy.
alternate realities and conflicting timelines are weird.
Continuities are tough.
Yeah.
Especially in steampunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because especially when you start getting doctors involved and like
Oh,
so
the
many
mad scientists.
You have any idea how many different steampunk realities there are?
Yeah.
There's tons.
Like-
so many.
The multiverse theory is very much real in the steampunk universe.
It has to be.
Because literally everything and anything can happen.
Yeah.
I had my own steampunk group at one point. Well, it wasn't mine, but
You were part of a steampunk
I
group.
was part of a steampunk group, and that has unfortunately fallen through a little bit. People grew apart, and we just couldn't really sustain making projects. But that's just how things go sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, life happens.
It happens.
But it was fun, and it's not like we stopped doing it forever, because we still make the effort to get together and we've made friends. I became my first TeslaCon there. I became people. I became people.
You became people?
I became people. How cool is that?
When did you start? Like, I mean, 8 years ago or less?
Oh no, I didn't start at the 8. My first one TeslaCon wasn't the 8th one. My first one was their 5th one.
Okay, so 3 years ago you became people.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I became people 3 years ago.
What were you before then, if I might ask?
I think I was a squirrel.
Okay, squirrels are pretty cool too.
Yeah, squirrels are all right. They know things, man.
They do know things.
They know things.
They do.
Okay, so but
Anyway.
and every year is an advancement of the plot and also comes with it a theme.
Okay, for the next year?
No, for the current year. The next year's theme is the Battle of Britain, which is the penultimate chapter in their story.
So they're going to make it go for a decade and then do something else? Question mark.
Yeah, there was talk of them also doing some kind of Harry Potter convention called PotterCon, and but it's still in their unique style of doing things. So going to a panel is going to class.
Yeah, interesting.
Which I think is amazing.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Because a lot of the panels that they do there are your informational panels regarding whatever topic and theme it is.
Sure.
Like costume making or how to hunt your werewolves.
Yeah.
Or how to not act like a vampire when you are one.
The standard stuff, of course.
Especially if Nikola Tesla is a vampire.
Yeah.
He might be. He was a very weird and eccentric dude, like, just in general.
Kinda, yeah.
So there's really no telling what he would have been like in our modern, like, fantasy beasts. Because he was straight up one of the weirdest dudes to ever exist.
Yeah. And if he ever decided to use that death ray for anything,
it would have just not worked. It wasn't functional.
It wasn't?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah. He actually was famous towards the end of his life for making up all kinds of stories about his technologies because he'd lost it all. He was desperate.
He became a storyteller.
Pretty much. Like like his earthquake machine that he supposedly invented, it just couldn't have worked. The science isn't there.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of this, so you have panels like that, and you also have panels that are explicitly for the story, where the characters.
So story development.
Yeah. Where the characters are like, okay, so this is the scenario, such and has been stolen, and only they do it with their fancy accents that get contagious and spread everywhere like plagues.
The MacGuffin was taken, is what you're saying.
Yeah, MacGuffins usually get taken at some point, and then they have to be found. And then at some point when they're like surveying the room and people are allowed to ask questions of the character.
Yeah.
And they are answered in character, and it's really fun and super cool.
Okay.
And then sometimes, then the bad guys come in and they crash the panel, and then everybody's just like, "Oh, Dr. Procticus, what are you doing here?" Dr. Procticus being the main bad guy of the story.
Of course, he just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, either him or some of his or his Prussian flunkies.
I see. And of course, they stole the MacGuffin.
They didn't actually. It just kind of was. Actually, they had hidden it, and it was discovered during the opening ceremonies, being the opening play skit for the entire thing.
So they're like, we have to get our thing that we stole back.
Yeah, and then so the bad guy is like, well, we have it, maybe, but you don't know where it is, ha ha ha. And then Sherlock Holmes comes in, and he's like, yo, I found this in the lake because I fell down a waterfall after arguing with a math professor last year.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Because MacGuffins always need a ridiculous solution.
Yeah, and then they were just like, what? And he's just like, yeah, it was just kind of under the stage right here. And then they're like, why didn't you hide it better?
Sorry, boss.
No, you don't understand. See, they were supposed to just walk off, and then they would find out that it was here later, and then they would feel so stupid that they wouldn't try to stop us ever again.
Oh, good.
This is the operational intelligence of most of the bad guys here.
Sounds legit.
Very Saturday morning cartoon. Very fun.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to keep it that way. It's a con. You're there to have fun.
Yeah, and there were so many kids there this year. It was awesome. All in costumes, pretty little dresses, and cute little coats.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, passing it down.
The Cockney accent everywhere.
Oh no, not necessarily Cockney. There was like
All forms of British accent.
refined. There was refined British. There was German. There was Russian. There was Italian. There's all manner of
European.
all manner of poorly imitated European accents you can imagine.
Oh, good boy.
Well,
Well, that's not fair. They're imitated with a variety of skill levels.
from
To to the point where yeah, and
Wait, are you actually British?
yeah, it's when you reach that point, the accents actually become contagious.
They do.
And then at some point, everyone at the con is using these accents.
Yep.
And
And it gets
everyone-
really confusing because sometimes people pick up multiple.
Yeah, it definitely does that. It's weird and fantastic and fun. And,
I don't know why my Italian, French, and English accent is all combined.
and like during the con, the people who are playing the characters will just kind of wander around between panels and stuff, and you can talk to them. And Lord Bobbins has described it once as he wanted this to be like a steampunk Disney World. In the sense that the characters are walking around and you can interact with them.
It seems like he did a good job.
He really did. And sometimes they get in like when other races get into the mix, like lichens and like mer people, stuff like that, they have some pretty decent makeup going on too.
That's insane.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there for the year they did Under the Sea, but they had their own race they weren't technically mer people, but they were the people who inhabited Atlantis.
Oh,
Like my first year there was Journey to the Center of the Earth.
wow.
And they went all out. Like at first, the convention hall, when we were first
H.G.
there.
Wells.
Oh, yeah. Lots of H.G. Wells everywhere.
Yeah, you have to, though. It's steampunk.
Yeah, that's
like
it's a
hand in hand.
It's one of the core elements of steampunk is the works of H.G.
Yeah.
Wells.
Mm-hmm.
So the convention hall was like, it looked like a normal convention hall for a good while at the beginning.
And then they dressed it up.
And then after the opening ceremonies, because the opening ceremonies for that year, we were all in a ship and going to the center of the earth because that's where we're like, we can find a new energy source here to fuel the war effort.
Because coal is clearly running out.
Yeah, and so now we're working with Aether. And there's
What
like
about lava? Lava's pretty cool.
it's not by definition, actually.
I think it's cool.
They don't have anything tough enough yet to contain a lava.
I'm gonna contend that.
No, the people in the center of the earth have technology to work with lava,
Yeah.
but we don't.
But you're going there to find it, so it's cool.
Yeah, but we didn't know there was peoples down there at the time. So we go there and then we're like, "Oh my gosh, there's peoples, there's dinosaurs, and there's lush plant life."
And how are we not dead from the pressure?
Yeah, and so then we get off the ship,
Yeah,
aka out of the auditorium.
yeah.
And then in the time that we were in there watching the opening skits and stuff, people outside had been rushing about, decorating the place, and there were tentacles, there were giant bees, there were guys in those dinosaur costumes, not the inflatable T-Rex things, but those like big raptor things. Where the people have the legs and they like bend over and they has the face and it goes rawr.
Yes.
There was a couple of them. And
That's
then
crazy.
And then at some point during the convention, one of those dinosaurs acquired a top hat and a monocle.
Of course they did.
Well, naturally they did.
Yes.
So Raptor.
So what's the going to the logistics of it? What's the dealer room like? What's the
dealer
con food like? I mean, there's got to be
The food is
standard crappy con food.
They don't really have standard crappy con food because the event itself is in a Marriott.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's
my
not-
local con is also in a hotel.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily. But like, if by con food you mean like the food served in the only restaurant that the convention hall
when I go to my
has.
local con, they cook up fries and crappy pizzas and chicken tenders and stuff. They sell it on the side.
Oh,
like-
they don't have that. They don't
Okay.
have. There's none of that.
So that's con food. Con food is the vendors who sell food at the con, which is usually pretty crappy fried food. And
Oh
No.
no. All you have here is there's like one snack bar that is stupidly overpriced.
because it's a hotel, yes.
And then there's the in-hotel restaurant.
Also stupidly overpriced.
Yes, but to be fair, at least at this restaurant, the food is actually of quality.
Well, that's good.
And for every year, they also try to match it with the theme.
Ah.
So like last year's theme was Mad Science in Paris. So they had a bunch of fancy French type things
Oh, wow.
being served there.
Ratatouille.
That's really cool.
Escargot.
My local, the hotel that the local con is held at in Maine, the bar puts together special drinks.
Yeah.
It's so
I've seen-
cool.
Yeah, those are pretty nice too.
I mean, they knocked people off their socks because they were so alcohol heavy, but like they were good.
Oh no, people bring their own alcohol to this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that in most cons. So,
Oh,
It's Tesla. It's steampunk. It's
Yeah.
kind of a given.
well, not necessarily. If it's more family oriented, they're not going to allow it.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of conventions. I'd say that of the conventions that I've ever been to, TeslaCon has been one of the classier ones.
Right.
Because I guess for whatever reason, I guess the steampunk crowd is just naturally more mature in a lot of ways.
I think they're in their characters, they're in this environment. It doesn't lead to rowdiness and off-color humor and stuff.
No, it
leads
goes to-
you're in the moment, you're
Yeah.
in the environment. There is,
And if there is off-color humor, everybody's
during the time.
everybody
Yeah.
is sensible enough to contain it within the moment that it's appropriate.
Right.
Nobody drags it on. Nobody's glomping each other
yeah,
because a lot of because everybody understands that these particular costumes
it's fragile.
are super delicate. Their
Yeah.
period costumes are super expensive and hard to get right.
Victorian era costume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody is very actually respectful of personal space there because everyone's very aware of how much effort went into everything.
That's really cool. That's really good when people are respectful like that.
Yeah, it's and I know a lot of other and I know that it's true that can be said of other cons as well. But I know a lot of anime conventions they had to like put up rules against people glomping.
That's silly.
Because like glomping being a hug that is mixed with
Yeah.
a tackle. So people like actually getting knocked to the ground and having their costumes and stuff
Oh, I know.
ruined.
My wife glomps me. I don't mind it because she's my wife.
Yeah.
But like, I understand. It's just I've never seen people do that like outside of people who they know, which is, I mean, you should have at least established like this is okay
Yeah.
with the person who you know.
Obviously.
But like, if you're doing that to random people,
because
Yeah.
apparently those rules were put in place because there used to be a problem with people doing that to just random people.
which isn't okay. I mean, that not only breaches all kinds of personal space boundaries. It's like,
It's also
Yeah.
breaking the law, kind of, a little bit.
yeah, if you're gonna be really strict about it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just not. It's not polite.
It's more like a comfort zone area.
Yeah.
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 But like even during the parties, and there was
People
only
are classy.
yeah, people are still relatively classy. Everybody's still hands to themselves.
Of course. I mean,
Like an English
they're
gentleman
being
should.
respectful.
Yeah, they're being respectful. Even there was like an actual rave type party on
Oh,
the
God.
final day
Jeez.
because of course there always is.
Because that's totally steampunk Victorian.
Everybody's still in costume.
Why not?
So
We're gonna cut loose. We've been prim and proper too long. Cut loose.
yeah, the drinks were still steampunk themed. The most delicious one that I had was called hydraulic fluid.
I mean, I wouldn't make a habit of drinking hydraulic fluid, but if it tasted good, why not?
Yeah, I mean my decision making process went as follows. That drink is blue. I bet it's tasty. Let me try it.
It was in fact tasty.
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Probably a lot of gin.
Who knows what was in it? Actually, you would know more than us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was an ingredient list. I didn't read it.
If it was blue, it probably had blue curacao in it. very few things that turn blue without blue curacao.
Yeah, and curacao is universally
sweet.
pretty delicious,
It's just super sugary sweet.
and I love that. But yeah, so super classy. People
Yep,
are hands
yep.
to themselves. Even when you're in a close raving environment and you're just kind of doing that weird wiggly dance that isn't actually a dance.
Because you have to keep your costumes together.
Yeah, and also everybody is super pressed in against you. It's kind
Oh,
of
God, it's so gross.
it's pretty gross.
It's super gross.
But still, people are still keeping their hands to themselves.
like,
even though drinks are present, and some people are a bit skimpier, more skimpily dressed than others.
it is a convention. You have to expect this.
But people are still like
Respectful.
just rocking out and conversing and just kind of being like, yeah, this is my groove. I love this song. It was all pretty great. And there were also like formal dances. There was a masquerade.
That's
because there
yeah.
has to be.
Yeah, probably a cosplay ball or something along those lines. Or oh no, because it's a whole steampunk thing. Everybody's in
So
costume.
it's probably going to be a masquerade.
Yeah, the masquerade was a special one, and they even had dance classes
That's really cool.
to learn like traditional.
Victorian dances.
Yeah, not just Victorian dances,
Waltzes.
not even just ballroom dancing. Because this year's theme was Bucharest Bungle.
Okay.
So the theme was there were vampires and werewolves and slayers and monsters and all kinds of like classic movie monster Halloween-y stuff from like Romania.
Dang.
So we learned
Helsing organization.
Yeah. So we learned like
Yeah.
so there was a class for Romani dances
Wow.
and stuff like so you learned that, and then they played them during the dance that night, and people who had gone to the classes could do those dances.
That's really cool.
And some of them were really easy to pick up even if you haven't taken the classes.
Well, yeah, gypsy dancing is fun.
But it was pretty great.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. Sounds like you had a really fun time.
It was pretty great.
Was the dealer room mostly just selling steampunk stuff or
well,
good mix?
Well, yes, it was. There was a lot. It was all steampunk stuff, but most of it was handmade by the dealers.
Well, of course, that's what steampunk stuff is. It's not like cheap plastic toys. It's
no,
handmade stuff.
It's handmade dresses and and cured leather sewn up
yeah.
and stuff.
There's a vendor who comes to our local con who does steampunk stuff, and it's all handmade. Usually
yeah.
from parts from a junkyard, but still handmade.
Yeah, like actual parts from old clocks and junk machinery that was resculpted into something cool.
Exactly.
And also the jewelry. Lots of really neat jewelry.
I imagine.
Spider.
Yeah, spiders and dragon's eyes and
Oh, yeah, definitely really cool stuff. I mean, every con I've gone to has had really cool stuff.
yeah.
Excepting Rhode Island Comic Con. That was just kind of... Well, I've talked about this in the past. I did not enjoy that. It was too crowded, too much paywall, like real paywalls, like in real life.
Like when you say paywall,
I mean, like, oh, you want to see this person? Pay $150. Oh, you want to see that person over there? $150.
and that's on top of your ticket.
Yeah, that's on top of your ticket. Oh, you want to go to this panel? That's a $20 extra. You want to do this? That's $20. We basically paid to go shopping. They didn't have any panels.
Wait, you had to what?
They had like 2 panels.
What?
Yep.
You had to pay extra to go into the dealer's room or something?
No, that was what you got basically for your price. Oh, you want to take a picture of the cool cars they brought in? That's extra.
That's nuts.
It was, yeah.
Like there was a
That's the sign of a crappy con.
There was a little bit of that, but only for there were like VIP tickets so that you could get prime seating for the skits and stuff.
I mean, but that you're getting something out of it. It's not getting what should be included to begin with.
Yeah, but like the thing they included was there were specific dinners for each of the parties, houses.
Oh, okay.
For like there was a good guy dinner. He was called the second worst dinner ever because they were serving bratwurst.
Oh, worst.
Yes,
second worst.
Second
dinner.
worst dinner ever. Now I'm starting to talk like
Bratwurst
Captain
are
Krieger.
delicious, though. Did you go to any of those dinners?
No, because those cost extra. Because you're eating your meal with the cast.
So you're paying for a meal and some
performance, yes.
Yeah.
So and also marginally better food, I think, because outside of the hotel food, there was also like other restaurants in the area that were cheaper. There was a Five Guys. There was other
See,
things.
Whenever I go to our local con, I live off Chipotle for 4 days.
Ah.
It's so great.
Is it? I bet it. You don't regret it later.
No, not at all.
He's immune.
I'm immune to Chipotle at this
You're
point.
immune to Chipotle?
Yeah.
How?
Because I eat it that much.
Oh, jeez. You've adapted and overcome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But yeah, so TeslaCon, the story is wrapping up, but the adventure is far from over. I don't know what they're going to do after this, but and this is my shameless plug that I get absolutely nothing for.
Oh, yeah.
By all means, check it out before the story is done. There's 2 years left.
Well, until they start something new. There's no way they're just going to leave this super popular con.
Oh, no. Too many people love it. They have their own Facebook page and stuff. Their official page and their fan page. People put stuff there all the time.
Yeah. Well,
it's fairly active.
I'm actually going to take your shameless plug and go into my own shameless plug.
All right. It's plug time, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be for, my Facebook page, DJ Frost at WLMC. And yes, I mean DJ Frost AT WLMC. Like, that's what you have to search to find the page. Because,
Things.
because there was already a DJ Frost or something like that. I don't know. I know, it was kind of silly. But yeah, it's there. Definitely give it a like. I post a lot of really cool nerdy stuff. It's mostly sharing of places from Kotaku and Anime News Network and Crunchyroll, but still, it's kind of collating it all into one place.
A little bit of Nerdist.
Yeah. A little bit of, basically whatever I come across, I'm like, oh my God, yes. And I'll share it. So, there's that. It also goes to my Twitter, which Twitter is a great place to reach me, at DJ Frost WLMC, which this time it's the @ symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, so at DJ Frost WLMC on Twitter, because that's how Twitter works. You got to use the @ symbol for your handle or whatever. But yeah, no, that's cool if you follow me there. I also post stuff on Twitter. Actually, I'd say I'm on Twitter more than I am on the Facebook, but I can't say that for sure. The only reason that it's on there more is because every time I start one of these awesome Talking Nerdies, it automatically posts the link onto the Twitter.
And
it's so cool.
I see.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with the technology thing.
Technologies is good for you.
Oh, yeah, totally.
His is DJ Frost. Mine is the orange one.
Yeah. No, literally, his is the orange one.
26.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because he's the orange one. But anyway, and then also the Talking Nerdy YouTube channel, obviously. If you go on the Facebook page, DJ Frost at WMC, you can click on the Learn More button and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. And then you can subscribe. And then you can listen to Talking Nerdy all the time because they're all saved on there.
Yay!
I mean, sometime I'm going to have to go and upload all the old ones, but I'm really lazy. So basically this season's on there. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, all of season 3.
Pretty much. But anyway.
All right.
Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through and see what I can find on the.
There was the outfit for the new Doctor has come out.
She looks bad as all get out.
Yeah, I know, right?
She's going to be sick. I'm excited for this female Doctor. People are poo-pooing it. I'm like, please, it's gonna be great.
We've had 12 men. Time for the other ones.
Time Lords don't even
13.
have gender.
I think we've had 13. Well, they choose their gender whenever they.
Yeah, but essentially to them as a race,
it doesn't matter.
Gender norms don't really apply ever at all.
Yeah.
So they switch back and forth. Look what happened to the.
It just happens to be that the Doctor chose to be a
female this time because why not? Because
the Master became female.
Master does.
Nobody had a problem with that.
The Time Lords do whatever the Time Lords want.
Yeah.
No, she was more evil even when she was female.
People change. Time Lords change.
Yeah.
She went by Missy.
So that's what the Master wants to call themselves.
Why not?
What's wrong with that?
Are you going to argue with them?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody argues with the Master.
Yeah. So one of the bigger pieces of news this week, first of all, Doom comes out for the Switch tomorrow.
Okay.
New Doom, not old Doom. But Blizzard company who I have a love-hate relationship with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last weekend was BlizzCon.
I think I know where this is going.
They announced the new expansion for World of Warcraft, the
Yeah.
Battle for Azeroth. But who cares about the new expansion? They announced classic servers.
Yes.
That is what I'm excited about because they've had legacy servers forever that weren't officially run by Blizzard. And Blizzard would be like, you have to take those down. And they're like, but you don't have it. But you have to take those down. And people are like, all right,
And then
Blizzard.
in like official interviews, people are like, when are you going to make a vanilla server? And they're like,
No, we're not doing
they're
that.
like, yeah, we're not doing that. And you don't want that.
And after so long, they finally buckled under the pressure.
Like they deliberately said, you don't want that in interviews.
And people were like, clearly we do, because how many legacy servers have there been? Wait.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to do it, but there's no timeline for it. It's announced that it's going to happen, but
That an announcement doesn't mean that much.
it doesn't mean... It basically, my theory is, if it is real, amazing, phenomenal even.
Yeah.
If not, they're the biggest trolls and should be slapped in the face. Because don't be playing me like that, Blizzard.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's cruel.
Like World of Warcraft was the first MMO I ever touched. And
Really? You didn't touch RuneScape at all?
No, I didn't because I
Wow.
didn't know that it was a thing that I could have. I was rather sheltered as a child, you see.
Fair enough.
Well, he got playing back into it.
Yeah, RuneScape is actually...
But I've been clean of Warcraft for several years now.
I go back every once in a while, but the newest expansion, they changed too much for me.
Dude, the level cap is maxed.
I know. Well, it keeps going up.
Well, they went a 20 jump.
They did a 20 jump for this new Battle for Azeroth.
The level
It's now
cap
going to be level 140
Yeah.
140.
for Battle for Azeroth. Yep. It was
Jeez.
120, I believe, for Legion.
Yep.
So it's either 140 or 130. It's either a
That's-
10 to 20 jump again.
That's insane.
Well, it means they're adding a lot of content.
Eh.
But just imagine when they release World of Warcraft 2, how many people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because, oh no, there's going to be no more expansion for World of Warcraft. But I've been building this character since vanilla. Who cares?
That's your problem.
World of Warcraft 2, here we come. And people are going to be like, Blizzard.
Why?
If they pull something like Destiny did, like that'd just be awful too.
Oh, that would be
You
bad.
can keep your character, but you don't get anything for it.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was pretty bad.
Then Overwatch stuff came out then.
Yeah, but who cares about that? I mean, Blizzard is putting out classic World of Warcraft. That's what I want
Yeah,
to play.
that's the real big news right
I mean,
now.
if they do classic Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, I'd be happy. Like 3 different servers where you could go between each of those versions.
It looked like they're going back to the first one.
It does, but they might do something else, like where they eventually add another one and then add another one. A friend of mine actually suggested a really cool concept where you play World of Warcraft and it's out for months and whatever, and you build your character up to level 60. You do all the content. Well, then that server stays the same, but another server jumps up and it's Burning Crusade, and you have the option to transfer your character, and you go and play the Burning Crusade
So you have
content
the
for months and months and months.
So you have the opportunity
To
to
jump versions and
to-
to play through the history.
as if you were doing it for the first time.
Yep. Well, yeah, exactly. As if the game had just come out, and then you go to the next thing.
But you can do it but you can like go through the content and stuff
transfer
at
and
your
all that.
leisure.
Exactly. And then after that's been out for a while, people have had an opportunity to do all the Burning Crusade stuff. Wrath of the Lich King pops up. You can jump over to that. Then Cataclysm and
so on,
Then
and
Mists
so
of
on,
Pandaria.
right.
Then Warlords of Draenor. And then Legion. And so on and so forth.
In blabbity blue.
Battle of
Ad
Azeroth.
infinitum. Yes.
Battle for Azeroth. What have we been fighting for all this time if not Azeroth?
Well,
Other
now
places.
it's actually the
Well-
Horde versus the Alliance.
Yeah, now it's gone back to its roots with, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's... Apparently there was benefits for Destiny if you switched your character, depending on how long you played the game. And apparently Destiny 2 is really, really good. So Bearman was sending me all these things.
All
Good.
right. So, question, and I will ask this question and then give a detail, and then that is as far as I will get.
Okay.
Have you two watched the next season of Stranger Things yet?
No.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then-
I don't have Netflix. I don't think he has Netflix.
No, I have Netflix.
you
I've
do?
just been busy.
Yeah, it's been kind of busy.
Yeah. But, okay, then the only thing that I will tell you about it is that 11 gets a hot new look.
Take your word for it.
I've already seen the concept for the season 3, and looks like there's a Cthulhu coming through the air.
They're kind of is. That's not really a spoiler because it's in a lot of the advertising now.
Yeah, it's everywhere now.
Oh.
So the presence of the big shadowy thing with lots of arms is not a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
It's in every single advertisement that they have at the moment.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't know, but let's try to avoid it. Just because I think both of them are within our 5-year spoiler wall.
All I will say is that it's a thing that exists.
Yeah.
It's plastered everywhere.
Oh, I just was reminded of something because we were talking about TV shows.
Yeah.
Remember the Pokemon anime, how it's been going for like 20 years?
Yeah.
They hit their 1,000th episode on November.
I remember
It
seeing
actually,
something.
technically it was yesterday, but it's actually today because November 9th was yesterday for... It gets really weird with that time zone.
Timelines, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it aired in Japan on the 9th, which was yesterday for them. It's weird. But yeah, 1,000th episode. Technically speaking, it was the 990th. But because they include their special episodes as episodes, it was the 1,000th.
Ah.
Therefore, Pokemon, I mean, it was just a normal episode, but like they had all kinds of giveaways and fun stuff associated with it.
A lot of Team Rocket.
Yeah, they had a Team Rocket balloon flying around. Let's see. Apparently, I just posted something on the Twitter.
Yeah.
Apparently. I don't know.
What? Sounds like you've been hacked, son.
Oh, I think it was Bearman posting for me. Thank you, Bearman. He posted a trailer of, so PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, they're developing an RPG called Air, which is like World of Warcraft with airships, apparently.
Ooh, like we
Like
Guns of Icarus.
Like, yeah.
I liked Guns of Icarus, but I didn't have enough friends to play it with.
It's become a lot more interesting now.
So yeah, it looks really phenomenal. I mean, I'm not sure I'm necessarily going to jump on it because like RPGs tend to cost money. Yeah.
Games in general tend to cost money.
With Guns of Icarus, they've now added a campaign.
Oh, awesome. Still need friends to play it with, though.
True.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know, Guns of Icarus is a steampunk airship flying game. It's cut where you have your teams and you're trying to do your death matches and your capture the flags and all that, except you're all flying an airship and you have a crew and one person's driving the ship, 2 people are fixing it, and one person's
on guns.
Yeah, and one
Don't
person's
make
on
me
guns.
pull this ship over. I swear to God, I will.
Last time
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
It was all the
Are we
YouTubers playing it, and they added 2
Yeah.
more ships and 5 more guns.
Yeah, I remember that, how long ago was that when like all the big gaming YouTubers were playing?
They usually do it in the
together?
summer, and the one I kind of watch is Jesse Kotz and his Starship Butterfly and his pirate crew.
Because I know the Grumps and Angry Joe and Markiplier and a lot of other
Lord Minion 777.
So
Yeah.
they all played this game together.
Yeah, they
That's
all
pretty cool.
they all got all the big gaming.
Plus the devs.
Really, the devs were in it too.
Yes, they had their own ship.
So apparently, what you're describing is what it looks like plus fantasy aspects.
Ah,
So that plus fantasy,
all right.
like
I'm
dragons
sold.
and
I am
dwarves and, like,
100% sold now.
yeah, it's right up your
Steampunk
alley,
gaming has
Scotty.
been going excelling
I mean,
lately.
This is literally up your alley, Scotty. This is your game.
They're going into an untapped market.
I don't think it's untapped. I think it just hasn't been tapped in a while.
It's vastly underutilized, is what it is.
Yeah. Well,
A lot
so
of
apparently dwarven mech suits and jetpacks versus dragons. Yep, she's happy. But the steampunk universe I'm most involved with, you might say, haven't been involved in it for a while, is the War Machine and Hordes universe. It's a tabletop miniatures game similar to Warhammer and stuff,
Okay.
but steampunk.
I see.
And apparently infinite amounts of coal in the world. Like, actually, it's been stated that coal isn't an issue. Everything burns coal, and just accept that. And they will never run out of coal no matter how much you say. And they've got what are called jacks, which are war jacks, which are just robots, and they're powered by coal and steam, of course.
Naturally.
Like, if they fall in water, they're done. You lose that. Water features, as you might imagine, are not very popular on War Machine games.
I would expect not.
But in addition to that, you have warcasters, which are the people who run these jacks, and they have a connection with them, like on a
Like Gundams.
kind of, but it's they use focus, which is it's their connection with them, and they can allocate focus to make them do things.
Okay.
And basically, I give you this amount of focus, so it costs a focus to charge something, and
So
it costs a
it's-
focus to do this.
So it's like a cross between Gundams and Digimon.
Sort of. But not
Actually,
really.
no, it reminds me of an anime.
Which Gundam and Digimon both are.
No, it's a mech anime, but it's ID 0.
Maybe, but it mostly is a mechanic that lets the things not be broken as heck because the jacks are really powerful, as you might imagine. They also have colossals, which, as you can imagine, are about a foot and a half tall, like in reality. So
then in
to
game
scale.
they're monstrous.
well, it's still 1/25th scale. So
Jesus.
imagine that 25 times the size.
So you have a Colossus.
Jesus.
So basically, but they're really expensive to run, as you might imagine.
I believe it.
Warcasters only get a certain amount of focus, and that limits the amount they can run a jack. So some Warcasters have 6 focus, I think, is standard. Don't quote me. It's been ages since I've played the game, and they also changed the rules since I last played. They came out with Mark III. But anyway, it's really cool. I think if you were to get into a miniature battle game, this would be your game. But on the flip side of it, there's the Hordes, which is in the same universe, and you can play War Machine and Hordes against each other.
Okay.
But the Hordes is all about beasts and druids, and the fantasy side of things. So you've got the fantasy versus the steampunk. And it's really cool. You've got
Which side do I pick?
well, you can play multiple armies. That's the thing. But there's the Signar, which are the British American types. They are
Yeah.
one of the bigger powers. They have lightning as their primary element. Everything lightning. They're the most technologically advanced, I believe. Besides the elves. Don't get me started on the elves. They're not called elves. They're called something else, but I can't remember what their name is.
But they're basically elves.
They're elves. They're straight up elves. You've got the Khador, which are communist Russia,
Okay.
but with steampunk. You've got the Kingdom of Menoth. I forget. Basically, the religious nuts. They're on an ever going crusade against everything because Menoth said so. Literally. Then you got the elves. I forget what their name are, but they're super elvy and do weird stuff.
Eldordan?
What?
No.
No, I forget what their name actually is.
It's probably something elvish.
Hold on, I'll just look it up.
Oh, darn it. That's disappointing.
But anyway, let me look up their names. What are the...
Because I just decided for the lulls, I would Google.
Oh, they're called the Retribution of Syrah, I guess. They're elves, and their god died or is really sick, and they're doing stuff like that. Then they've got Convergence of Cyrus, which are automatons that are run by Cyrus, which are crazy mecha dudes. And then there's the Cricks, which are undead steampunk robot shit. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Undead.
Crazy robot stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Zombie
I almost said a bad
steampunk.
word.
You did say a bad word.
No, I almost said a bad word.
All right.
That would have been. And then there's the mercenaries, who are actually my favorite, because you've got the dwarves who have mining robots that have been turned into actual fighting robots, and their colossal is just nuts.
Oh no.
Then there's the pirates who have a their colossals a anchor shooting pirate ship war robot thing. It's
Nice.
crazy. And
It's a gun that shoots anchors.
they've got cannons on it because obviously there's just cannons everywhere.
But probably shoot anchors.
But there's also an anchor, which is its melee weapon, but it can shoot an anchor at you and pull you to it and then hit you again.
Get over here.
Yeah, pretty much. Get over here with a slam attack followed.
Jesus.
That, yeah.
That's pretty heavy duty.
It's really heavy duty. So,
Is it?
really, really cool. It's basically up your alley. Then there's also Hordes, which, I wonder if they've added any more people, but you've got your trolls who do troll things.
Yeah.
They're expensive, but they regenerate and are really hard to kill. You've got your Circle Oberos, which is the druids.
Okay.
You got your Scorn, which are desert elves who are just dicks, because of course, Legion of Everblight, which is like super dickish undead / blighted / taken over by evil dragon people.
Ah, okay.
Then I don't know what this is. The Grimkin. They've got some new thing here. It's like
The Grimkin sounds like that would be the zombie.
no, it's weird. It's like demons and flesh warping.
Okay.
I don't know. They're brand new to me.
Oh,
To be
yeah.
perfectly
It's
honest.
something out of like you would see.
And then they've got minions, so they've got gator people, pig people, all kinds of things. But yeah, minions are their mercenaries. So really cool. You can play them all together. Hordes and War Machines have 2 different rule sets too,
Oh,
but
goody.
they work together because the base rules are the same.
All
so
right.
the way combat works is the same. War beasts are prodded to get fury on them. And if you don't prod your war beasts enough, you don't get all your fury back. So you got to be really careful with your warlock, which is the equivalent of a warcaster.
Okay.
Whereas warcasters always get their focus back, but they have to allocate it. Warlocks have to poke their beasts, basically. They've got to make them mad and push them to do things like attack and run and things like that in order for them to get their stuff back.
Okay.
So, and if they don't, they have to cut themselves, so like hurt themselves, take a point of damage to get their fury back. So if you take out all of a warcaster's jacks, they can still fight on because each focus that they don't use on a jack adds to their armor. So really good.
Okay.
It's basically they're allocating, similar to ether, they're allocating their ether from their warcasterness to their robots. And if the robots are gone, well, they just keep it all for themselves and get powerful.
All right.
Warlocks don't, but their beasts are like the heart of their strategy. So if they lose all their beasts, that's it. So like they can still cut themselves to get fury and stuff, but they got to be really, really careful. But there's always a trade-off, and it's just different strategies on how to keep things running.
Okay.
So again, really cool tabletop game. Haven't played it in ages.
I just did a quick Google search for one particular costume that stands out to me every year at TeslaCon.
Oh,
The guy I like. The shorthand is Steam Pope.
Steam Pope.
Yes,
That's amazing.
it's he literally is an old man. Like, that's another thing about this. People of all ages come here and come there and do their thing. And because
I mean, that sounds good.
yeah, because everyone, and this guy, he chooses to be a steampunk pope. And it's pretty great. He's got the big hat and the robes and all that, and he looks great. So I decided to just quickly Google image search Steam Pope, and I am really disappointed.
Oh, wow.
Because there is absolutely nothing resembling a Steam Pope that pops up when I look for it.
You want
Oh,
to
wow.
put steampunk.
No.
No, but then there goes the joke. It's just Steam Pope. You can't put up steampunk Pope. Well, you can, but
It's Google.
Yeah.
you can, but like the point is the joke is Steam Pope. And then that
And it's not popping up.
no, I have to
I
type,
guess that doesn't surprise me. But if, like that person hasn't posted their costume anywhere.
Well, I'm not looking. I wasn't even looking for that specific guy. I was looking for anything that looked like a steampunk pope. You just type in Steam Pope and it should be there.
I know it should, but it doesn't.
But yeah. All right, I'll take a look on this computer.
Like the most amusing thing I see right here is a steampunk Darth Vader in a cowl, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't pop up. I get football players.
Yeah, it's lame.
Oh, yeah.
It's really lame.
This really doesn't make any sense.
Oh, speaking of steampunk Darth Vader.
Oh, maybe this is him. This looks pretty cool. He's got a pipe. He's got goggles.
Yeah,
he's got a pope hat.
that is a Steam Pope, yes, but it's not the Steam Pope that I know.
Okay, so it's not the guy with the beard.
No.
Okay.
He does have a beard, but it doesn't look like that.
Okay, so a different guy. So yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe next year you'll take a picture and share it with us.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some sweet pictures of myself and my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to be expected from a con. You take pictures of all the coolness.
Well, I unfortunately didn't get pictures of all the coolness because I did decide to go to an awful lot of panels.
Well, that's a good thing to do. Like, panels are the lifeblood of a con.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have good panels, then don't expect it to last.
Yeah.
Or
It's-
survive.
So that kind of brings me to a question that I've been meaning to ask you guys. Like, what elements does a con absolutely have to have in order to be successful?
Oh, that's
For me, there are
Any
a
con.
few. Yeah, there are a few very important features.
Yeah.
So the first one is a good environment. The people have
that
to
must be a
cool.
must.
You know, you don't want to go to a con where everybody just sucks.
Yeah.
Frankly, if the people aren't good, don't go, and it doesn't last. Like Rhode Island Comic Con, the people were just kind of, it was like a herd just moving through the entire dealer room. That's
So
what
it was basically sheeple.
kind of, but like you got caught up in everything, and it wasn't fun.
So people are just like standing around doing nothing.
Sometimes, but like it wasn't exactly their fault. There wasn't much to do.
Ah.
And it was really overpriced. The second thing that's got to have is a great dealer's room where the dealers are friendly. They know what you want if you ask. They are well versed in anime, video game, whatever they're selling, knowledge. And it's not overpriced and rip-offish because like nobody likes a rip-off.
Oh, no.
So like the people who go to my local con, the dealers, they're all known. They all go, you know, we've seen them all before. And if it's a new vendor, there's a lot of interest. And like I've seen dealers come and go, people who didn't make it because they just weren't. They didn't make enough money. It wasn't good enough, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't
Things
fit
happen.
the con, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Third thing it needs to have is a good artist alley.
Yeah.
You know, you want to give your artists in the community a place to shine. And I really
sell their artwork.
yeah, sell their artwork, showcase what they've got, take commissions. You know, that's the kind of thing. You know, I'm always looking for a good commission for character art for different things because I can't draw. I'm not that great.
No.
But like if I see somebody's art style that I love, like I want to support a local artist. You know, that kind of
That's
thing.
all. That's great.
I know a friend of mine who did that, who for our current campaign, the one which Laser Bears, that's
Yeah.
been going on for ages now. Yeah, he had art done by an artist who he met at the con,
Yeah.
done up for his character,
Oh, cool.
which I could tell stories about that character, but I won't. Hilarity.
Yay.
Like, okay, I'll just go into it just really quick. Like, he's playing a female character because he wanted to, and that's cool. Well, our GM, just to mess with him, made his original cohort with the leadership feat, like, have some complicated backstory so that he's no longer her cohort because, like, things happened and need to take care of that.
Yeah.
Well, the second cohort he got is a halfling magus, and she is in love with his character. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be like super crazy, weird, like lesbian
like
love,
stalkery?
but like his character is completely like not even aware of romance and what it does and anything like that.
Totally aromantic.
Oh, completely aromantic. Actually, I'm going to go into another story after this because tangents are great, and then I'll go back to the cons. I promise.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just completely like doesn't understand, and it kind of reflects the guy too. He doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not his strongest suit, but like yeah, so it's just kind of we always just laugh.
Well,
'cause-
to be fair, there's a difference between being clueless and being aromantic.
right. Clueless is the better way to go,
Yeah.
and also not concerned with it because busy doing this and then busy doing this, and then eventually she might realize, oh wait, actually, I guess this has been the way it's been the whole time.
So you're basically saying a protagonist.
We're all protagonists. It's not really, you can't, no, it's just hilariously
Or a very
oblivious to it.
dense person.
Or purposefully oblivious because I don't want to deal with this crap right now.
Ah.
But anyway, no. So me and my wife play in this game too. My wife's only been recently in, but she plays a female dwarf, and she's a farm girl, and she's been like, this sort of dynamic has been building between our characters for ages. Like, I do stuff for her because like she doesn't have much money or anything. She's not really established in the game as much as we are. So like, I was like, oh, you need help with that? Sure, here you go. I don't care. I'll share with you, whatnot. Because like, why not? My character would probably do that
Yeah.
for somebody he liked. And like, she would give him an egg from her chickens. And like, here, I give you an egg. And he'd go, cool, I'll make it for breakfast. And like, all of a sudden, so I snuck my GM a note on Sunday morning. I'm like, all right, after the movie, actually. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a wedding ring for that character. So literally, I'm proposing my wife a second time in game.
Well,
but she doesn't know it yet.
But that's amazing.
No, so I did. I got the ring and I gave it to her. And how flustered my wife got was just so adorably cute.
Oh,
She got flustered in real life. She's like, she told me afterward, I got less flustered when you proposed to me in real life than I did in the game. And I was just like, gotcha.
That's adorable.
It was hilarious.
That's like the best thing, though, because every time you play a game together and you make new characters, you can just keep doing it over and over again.
Well, it keeps the love intact.
Make it new running.
No, this was her character's response. If you wanted another chicken, all you had to do was ask. Because farming girl with super powerful thunderbow, but never mind that.
Oh.
But anyway,
she's an archer.
For real?
So her character is a hunter whose animal companion is a rhino. So she sits on a rhino and shoots arrows, but she doesn't have to have because her bow makes arrows for her out of lightning. Yeah. But if she can load other ammunition, so like she can shoot an ice arrow out of her thunderbow.
Oh no!
And yeah, it can do crazy stuff. It can stack up. So my +1 fire flaming burst arrow shot out of my plus whatever shocking bow. Yeah,
that's a lot of damage.
It's lightning and fire damage at the same time. It's really, really
that's
worth
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What level do you have to be to get stuff like that?
Yeah. You don't.
Level, yeah.
It's an artifact that our GM has come up with artifacts for everybody in the game.
Okay.
So this is an artifact he came up for her character, which fits the theme of the whatever. We're like level 12 mythic characters.
Okay.
Level 12 mythic 6. She's level 12 mythic 1 because she only just got her mythic. It came with concurrently with the bow. Long story. But yes, I love that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to move this in. Another thing a good con has is a game room where you can try new games. I played so many awesome new board games over the summer. It was amazing.
And there's a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At TeslaCon, the game room, I guess, this year was combined with the tea room.
Interesting. Well, that's really nice.
So you can have high tea and games.
Yeah,
that's
you
classy as heck.
You play board games while you have your
phenomenal.
tea.
That really is phenomenal.
Also, for the record, hibiscus tea.
Delicious, right?
Absolutely amazing.
I'm more of a green tea fan myself, but hibiscus tea is.
Yeah, especially if you add 1 cube of sugar.
Really?
Not
honey, cube sugar?
Yeah, cube, just a single sugar cube.
Honey is more of a New England thing.
Honey is more of an American thing, I want to say.
I'm not sure. I'm unversed in the ways and history of tea. But the single cube of sugar really makes the flavor in the hibiscus tea that's already sweet.
Yeah.
It really makes it
sweet.
It makes it explode.
Oh wow.
It's beautiful. It's like warm fruit cider. It becomes.
Well, I guess if you're really into sweet tea, go for that.
I love it.
But anyway, yeah, good game room. I played a bunch of different fun RPGs that weren't the traditional D20 system. I played. Are you familiar with the X-Wing game where you fight with?
In that I know
what it is. It's Star Wars ships that you play with. Well, they have a new game which is a bigger scale, so Armada. So I got to play that, and it was really fun. Let's see what else. Super Dungeon Explorer is always a game I like playing there. Really, really difficult game. Though.
And some classic retro games.
Yeah, there's also a video gaming room too, but I never go to that because I have video games at home. I don't need to go to a con to play video games.
Yeah.
Unless they're retro, like the original Ocarina of Time.
But I have that, Orange. I have that. I don't need to play it at a con. I can play it by myself or with other people at home.
In a far less clamorous environment.
And a far less sweaty and BO-filled environment. Because there are people who don't bathe at cons. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last thing a con has to have are good panels. And I mean good normal panels and good 18-plus panels that are for adults.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't even have to be the hentai panels, because, like, once you've gone once, you've kind of gone every time.
Yeah.
But, like, there's still a tradition you go to, because the other thing that happens is the rave, and that thing, it's like you take the stench and humidity and turn it up to 12.
Yeah.
Way past, it's just gross in there. So I always avoid it. But anyway, yeah. the best part about the 18 plus panels are you're with people who are, at least on paper, mature enough to understand the humor.
Yeah.
Like you can play Cards Against Humanity with everybody, and it's great. They do a custom version at my local con where they make custom cards based on con memes. So
I think TeslaCon had its own specific brand of Cards Against Humanity. It was Cards Against TeslaCon or something.
Yeah,
with all
same
kinds
brand.
With all kinds of in jokes from that con specifically.
Exactly. That's the best part. Like Nicolas Cage, for whatever reason, is a giant meme at our con. No matter what, Nick Cage.
Always.
Bees.
It doesn't matter what the topic is, suddenly Nick Cage.
Nick Cage fits into all topics at PortCon.
Okay.
PortCon Maine, if you're in Maine, go to it because it's friggin' awesome. Phenomenal even.
Alrighty.
But yeah, anyway, great panels. And there's also interesting stuff. You can go and this is learn how to play this Japanese card game. That's a panel. One year somebody did a really in-depth discussion of Kill la Kill, the anime. That was insane.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
There's just all kinds of really fun stuff that goes on. Each year has a theme too, and sometimes the theme matches what's going on, but a lot of time it doesn't, but who cares? Like people are there
on some of the good cons, theme is important.
It is, but it's just kind of an overarching hey, this is a theme. For most anime and just this is an overall nerd culture.
Especially when it comes out in cosplay chess.
That cosplay chess at most anime, just all around nerd convention cons, is pretty random. Like the theme is there for more of the panels.
Yep.
So it's going to be based on the special guests they lined up for this year. So a couple of years ago, it was Secret Agents, and they got some of the voice actors from Archer to come over.
Ooh.
Not the big ones. Not Aisha Tyler or anybody like that, but they got the doctor, one of the doctor guys, and Pam. They got their VAs to come over.
Oh, they're still great.
They're fantastic. The whole show has great voice acting. But those panels were so full, unless you were waiting all day for it, you couldn't get in. And this is uncommon at our con because it's such a small, community-based con.
I see.
It's run by one of the local FLGs, friendly local gaming stores.
Okay.
So it's really great. I actually go to that store when I'm home. But anyway, it's run by that, so it's a really good local feel. There are people who come from out of state, across the country, because they've been going and they just kind of go.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool local feel. That's the other really important thing. There's got to be a community feel to it.
Yeah, and also respecting the people that set everything up.
Respect just comes as standard no matter where you go. So that's not important to a con. That's important to life.
I didn't assault anybody today. I should get a cookie. No, you shouldn't.
No.
Not assaulting people is the base.
Yeah, no. Literally, there was somebody who was making... My wife cosplayed as Serena from Pokemon a couple years ago. It was a phenomenal cosplay. She was a dead ringer for Serena.
Dang.
Dead ringer. It was just one of the best costumes. The person who runs the con looked at her and said, that is bleeping phenomenal.
There is no substitute.
Our con is not known for language.
The PG-ness.
In the 18 plus panels, all language barriers are gone.
Beep.
Pretty much. If they have to close the doors and have people standing up front so other people don't get too close because mouths are dirty. And there's also something else which I won't talk about.
You need a gallon of soap to clean out that mouth.
Not even. It would take a year. But anyway, she was, and somebody dressed as Kirito just started hating on her and calling her all kinds of terrible things. And she went straight to security and they said to him, you do that again, you're out permanently. Just no tolerance for that kind of stuff.
That needs, I really enjoy those policies, actually.
I do too. And there's no reason to disrespect people.
No.
And frankly, if you're the one disrespecting people, get out. We don't want you.
You bring down the curve.
That sounds harsh and cruel, but we don't want jerks.
We're all here to have a good time.
Pretty much. We've all paid the same amount of money to get in to have a fun time. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself, but, do what you will, but harm none. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's the Wiccan philosophy, I believe.
It's just a good philosophy to go
It's just
by.
a common practice philosophy.
Yeah, I think she's probably right about the Wiccan philosophy. Like, you can be a jerk, but if you're not hurting anybody or doing anything to harm anybody else, that's you.
Yeah, just,
But once you bring that jerkness to somebody else, you're out.
yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah, that's...
Yeah,
there's
like-
nothing more to say on that. Like, don't be a dick.
It's really that easy. Just don't do it.
Pretty much. I mean, as with all nerd conventions, and you both know this, there are people who are going to be less socially inclined, people who don't get it.
Yeah.
And be that because they never learn, be that they're on the spectrum, so be it. But spectrum, by the way, is autism spectrum disorder, ASD. That's just kind of the catch-all now because they changed everything. Another story for another day. Besides the point, most people there are, socially inept, but in a cute sort of, oh, poor child. Oh, child. Oh, child.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah, oh, my sweet summer child. You have no idea what the world is like, do you? And then there's those who say, if you don't leave my area, I'm going to do horrible things to you and get kicked out of the con, so leave.
Yeah.
Like people who shouldn't interact.
Nah.
And it was just like this one person who harassed my wife. Had I been there, that person would not be in as good shape as he left.
I believe that.
Because not just me, but one of my best friends, when we heard about this, we're like, okay, who was it? Actually, no, we do know who it was.
Yeah.
And we're like, if we had been there, it would have been a different story. Because we would have gotten in his face and started yelling because it's unacceptable.
No.
It's unacceptable to be that way, especially when somebody's cosplaying for them. You don't cosplay for other people.
No.
Unless you're one of those professional cosplayers who just show their titties. Like, that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
But cosplaying is for you and not anybody else.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much or how little effort you put into that costume.
Yeah.
You still had the effort to put it together, and nobody has the right to judge you about that.
And it wasn't even her cosplay. Her cosplay was flawlessly put together.
Unless, of course, you're entering the cosplay contest, in which case you have to get judged.
She could have won. She could have won because it was that well put together. Like, it was picture perfect. Like, there's no other way. She was the perfect Serena.
But
the reason he was harassing her was because he hated the character Serena.
What?
And that is not okay. He
That-
hated
no.
the character. He's like, oh, she's such a cardboard character. Oh, look, it's the box. Oh, look, there's just a cardboard cutout walking around. And it's like, you can't say that kind of stuff.
No.
She's actually one of the better characters, I think.
Yes.
Those are terrible things to say to anybody.
Yeah, you don't... If somebody loves a character, let them love that character. That's
really.
them. I mean, I'm not, harassing this person for wearing a Kirito costume that was clearly cheaply made in China and he bought off eBay. Like, that, we could have. But
But no.
no, we're not because frankly,
because you're better than that.
yeah, because I'm not going to judge your character. Like, I'm not going to judge your character because you like that character. Like, I don't like certain characters, but if I see somebody cosplaying it as it's a really good cosplay, I'll be like, that's a great cosplay. Don't like the character, but good on you.
Yeah.
Like,
cons are supposed to be a non-judgmental zone.
yes,
supposed
but
to
the problem
be.
with non-judgmental is humans can't not judge.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Unfortunately, we are built to judge. It's how we go through life.
That's how evolution happens. You have to judge, and it's like survival. You have to judge, like,
Yeah.
is this person going to eat
Can
me?
I
or
eat it? Can I eat it? Can I sleep with it? Is it going to kill me? You have to judge those things.
Yeah.
The answer is usually no to all three. But
Especially if it's a flower.
you can eat certain flowers.
Yeah, you can eat flowers.
Edible flowers actually don't taste like much.
They really
taste,
don't.
They taste great with bacon. Though.
Not this person I saw eating a plastic one.
That's just that's a special kind of
That
stupid.
is very different.
That's a special brand of stupid. And you know it.
Son,
Yeah.
you're dumber than a bowl of mice.
You're dumber than that plastic flower you're currently munching on.
But yeah, and that kind of gets into a thing about, in terms of costuming, there's people like anybody who's ever seen like heroes of cosplay and stuff like that. There are some really, really good people who do this stuff for a living.
Yeah.
And then and a lot of the time, not all the time, but there are some people who let that kind of thing get to their heads,
Yeah.
and then they become elitists.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they cannot compare to Japan.
No.
No, I mean, frankly, Japan wins cosplay.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no way.
I mean, certain cosplays are done better in America just because of how the character is supposed to look. Like, if you're going to go that far, like, you are that character, like, there are some characters who are meant to be American.
Yeah.
And when an American does it and does it to the highest degree, it outdoes the Japanese.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
When you're doing
Japan
anime
wins.
when you're doing anime specifically anime cosplay,
even
Japan-
comics, Japan wins.
yeah.
Japan has really, they're crazy. I don't know how they do it. I think they just get better quality stuff over there. Frankly.
Maybe.
Well, also, they have an industry over there that is great.
It's
for
on that
cosplayers.
street.
Yeah, no, they have shops where you can have custom things made
They
that
have an
you
enti-
wouldn't be able to make normally at home.
Isn't there an entire district dedicated to cosplay merchandise?
I
Yes.
believe there's a part of Akihabara which
Yes.
does have it.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So yes, they have cool stuff that we don't have. I know.
they're getting that Hayao Miyazaki theme park.
Well, you can go visit that.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
I know.
And Lisa's coming out of retirement to come up with one more movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This-
they say one more movie,
Yeah,
but do
like-
they really mean one more, or is he going to get sick and come out of retirement again because he can't stand it?
That's usually what happens, and then he's like, "This is my last one. Okay, I'm bored. This is my last one."
And then, no, really, this is my last one.
Until the day,
Until the day he unfortunately passes. But he's only in his 70s, and the Japanese have a very long lifespan
Oh yeah,
because they're a very healthy culture.
they really are.
They really are. It's kind of, it puts our culture to shame.
It really does.
yes,
But
it does.
anyway, costuming, cosplay,
And
well,
elitism during cosplay.
don't do it.
No.
I mean, my biggest pet peeve is like, I hate to say it, and I'm going to sound like a dick, but like the female cosplayers who basically show their chest area because they can. And like, that's the big focus. Like, every time you see a picture of them, it's focused on the chest. And you're like, gee, I wonder what they're showing. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if that's just how the costume of the character is designed. Like,
but-
that's just what it looks like. Deal with it.
but at the same time, when they like gender bend things or do things and like sexify them,
Unless
Yeah,
you're
no.
all the cosplayers that get paid to do it.
even then,
There's nothing. Don't
There's
get me
nothing
wrong.
wrong with
There's
it.
nothing wrong with Rule 63.
no, but like at the same time, I really respect the people who cosplay to the T of the character, like every fine detail of that character. That's what I respect.
Yeah,
Really, really well and truly respect that.
that takes an awful lot of
It-
observational skill and diligence.
And commitment to the character.
yeah,
Like, I cosplay, on a less than full-time level because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But like, I'd love to do more in-depth cosplays, but like, I don't have the time or the skills to do it. I could develop them for sure, but
That'll take a few years.
that would take more time that I don't have. Not necessarily years, but just doing it a couple times.
well, a lot of free time. Let's put it
Exactly.
that way.
Free time that none of us really have.
yeah.
No.
No.
But
It took me over a year to put this new costume together because the pieces I don't have the skill to make things. And so I just had to like wait for the right pieces to appear in thrift stores.
Well, that's also a part of cosplaying is finding the pieces. Hand making things is great. It's wonderful
If you can do it.
if you can do it.
And if you have the talent for it.
Even like basic sewing isn't that hard on a machine.
No.
It takes a minute or two to actually get a handle on it, but basic sewing on a sewing machine isn't bad.
No.
But like over
I'm
the
talking
summer,
hand stitching.
yeah, over the summer, my wife and a few of her friends did the Powerpuff Girls,
Yeah.
and I was the professor. I was Professor Utonian.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was just like, I'm awesome. I'm in a lab coat, and I am fabulous.
That's all you really need.
Well, I had like the shirt, the tie, the lab coat. I had it all.
You did the best you could.
I mean, I could have been Professor Utonium if I had the pipe, but I didn't have a pipe laying around, so yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, but you did the best
I
you
did
could,
me.
and that was amazing.
Yeah, I did justice to the character.
Yes.
That's the important part. But like, there are people who like take a character, strip away everything so that they're like in their underwear, and like, I'm this character. Really?
Like
Are you though?
I'm gender bent Naruto on the beach.
You're just in a bathing suit, aren't you? No. See, I've got the lines on my face. Uh-huh.
And I have this wig.
Uh-huh. Sometimes not even.
No. No,
But,
the
like,
more elaborate ones are like the beasts and the mechs and
Actually-
all that stuff.
some of my
I
favorite are
remember
when
the first Comic-Con that I ever went to was Chicago Comic-Con.
Okay.
Somebody had a Suicune cosplay.
that's so cool.
I'm not talking about a humanized Suicune.
but
I'm
like
talking
actual beast form Suicune.
actual beast form Suicune.
That's sick.
like they would like go
Oh,
to,
that's talent.
like they would be able to they could get up and walk in it, but when they posed for pictures they would get
got-
on all fours.
That's crazy.
And it was exactly like it. I have no idea where my pictures went. They were on my old phone and it died.
Oh, no!
But it also had like a voice box.
That's
and it
so
did
cool.
And it did the cry.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
Now
I
that's
love
skill.
when people do stuff like that.
It was by far the most elaborate, one of the most elaborate cosplays I had ever seen.
You know what I love? When people do variations on characters. So like things that were actually in the show. So my wife cosplayed Haruhi because
Yeah.
she is basically a picture perfect Haruhi. Like
Okay.
if she was going to be an anime character, she'd be Haruhi Fujioka
Yes.
from Orin High School Host Club.
Yeah.
She has the look. Well, she didn't want to do the Orin High School, uniform because everybody and their mother has done it.
Yeah, that's not special anymore.
I mean, it is if you do it right. I mean, she would have been perfect. But she did Haruhi from the first episode where she was wearing the sweater and had the glasses and the messy hair. And it was perfect.
That's beautiful.
But like the people in the Orin coats were like, who the heck are you supposed to be? You're carrying Usa-chan. Oh, that's so cute. The bunny, Honey
Yeah.
Senpai's bunny. But like, and they're like, oh, you're so cute. Who are you supposed to be? And she's like, I'm Haruhi. No, you're not. Actually, I am. Remember episode 1? Oh. But yeah. Also, my wife needs to wear glasses because she can like
See,
see. Yeah. But,
I
like,
know that feeling.
But true Orin High School fans came up to her and were like, oh my God, you're Haruhi. And she was like, yes. Like, that is the most perfect thing I've ever
So
seen.
people who really get it would understand.
who appreciate the manga and the anime, they come up and like, I love it because I know who you are. And that's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I've cosplayed in the past as Otonashi from Angel Beats, the main male character.
Yeah.
And many people are like, are you supposed to be Celtiel? I'm like, who the heck's that?
You mean Castiel
That one, Castiel.
from Supernatural?
Yeah, that one. I'm like, who the heck is that? Supernatural. I'm like, no. First of all, this ain't a trench coat. Second of all, I look nothing. I mean, actually, apparently it's because of.
You kind of do.
It's because I kind of look like the guy.
If you tried, you could pull it off.
Exactly, but I don't care.
And if he bleached the hair.
No,
he's got
his hair needs to be. You would have to. If anything, you would have to darken it a bit.
Yeah, no. The point was, I was spot on for the character look,
Yeah.
but I didn't have the right character outfit, and I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, look. And they're like, what is that supposed to be? I'm like, oh my God, did none of you watch Angel Beats? But then the few people who came up to me were like, oh my God, you're Otonashi from Angel Beats. I'm like, yes, you understand me. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
That's what you live for.
Yeah.
You go,
Validation.
that's
Validation.
No, it's not even the validation. It's when somebody sees a character
Yeah.
that they love cosplayed by somebody, like, oh my God, that's amazing because
Yeah.
somebody did it. But I didn't because I didn't feel like I could do that.
The first time I ever dressed up as Rainbow Dash, I had all kinds of people coming up to me, mostly small children, being like, "Oh my God, my favorite pony!" And I'm like, "Yay,
Yeah.
pictures with small
It just-
children!"
It just makes you feel good inside. It really does.
Yeah, and like as somebody who a lot of characters that I enjoy playing at that I would like to cosplay as just happen to be male.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, do it. Whatever.
well, yeah. So I have to bend it a little bit.
In order to make it fit.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like the one that there's only really one character that I've done that regularly with, or
Oh.
a couple, and they're both from Team Fortress 2,
Okay.
Scout and Engineer.
Yeah, but like,
But
there's no reason they shouldn't be gender bent anyways. So,
yeah,
like-
because there are female models that exist
Yeah.
for both of those characters.
and the pyro
now.
may or may not be female.
Yeah,
Who
they-
knows?
It's just a gender.
Yeah,
well,
but like
it's unknown because
but
it's
my
never taken off its
but
mask.
My female engineer is different from what the model is.
But that's okay because there's
But
no
yeah, so
established
but it
model.
was.
But like, I would look at you and say, "Oh, you're the engineer from Team Fortress 2."
But yeah, there actually is an established female model.
Oh, is there?
amongst the community?
Oh,
yes.
is there?
People have been slowly
Gender
putting
bending.
out designs
Refining it.
for female versions of each of the classes. There's a female spy. There's a female. I believe the most recent one that had come out was a female sniper.
Oh, she's probably like straight up Aussie with craziness going on?
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much.
Headshot.
But like my female version of the engineer was like, it was literally just the engineer, exactly the same, only I had a braid going down because of my hair.
But you know what? People still got it, I bet.
Oh yeah, people still got it and people wanted pictures, and I ended up in one of those We Are cosplay videos at one point.
That's so cool. See, that's the kind of cosplay story I love to hear.
Yeah. It was like 2013 or something, but
Yeah, it's probably somewhere out there.
it exists.
My thing is, if the mall that's right across from the con says you can't come in because you're not wearing enough clothes, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah, no. Now if you're doing like a female engineer and like it's female Engie's day at the beach,
Maybe go to the beach and do it.
yeah.
Like, all that's really separating you is the hard hat at that point.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think the engineer would wear that.
No.
The engineer
they're
as
one of those, like, 50s style, like, full-on.
the engineer as a character would not wear a bikini.
No.
No.
Even the female form
Overall.
would-
Like, overalls at the beach is what you'd get.
yeah,
pretty
that
much.
like even the female engineer wouldn't do it.
No.
No, but I could see a cowboy hat.
No, they'd be in the same clothes in a submarine because engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, cosplay is fun.
Yes, it
I
is.
can't wait to do it again this summer.
I love doing it.
Anyway, you know what they say about time and flying.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's time for our final thoughts. So, Scuddy, final thoughts.
TeslaCon 9 is for me.
Orange.
Everything.
So specific as always.
Everything that came out this week and everything more.
Ah, yes, that is true.
42. That's
40?
his.
Next week's going to be fun, though.
Next week will be fun.
Yeah.
Because next Friday, as mentioned earlier, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon are coming out.
I see.
I won't be in touch for a while.
I understand this.
Anyway, so you have been so awesome. I love doing the show for all you guys. So thank you so much for listening. This has been Talking Nerdy with your host, Frost.
DJ Orange.
And DJ Scuddy.
And thank you so much for listening. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. And we'll see you next week for another rendition of Talking Nerdy. Yeah.